Carnitas Foundation distributes aid supplies to fire-affected residents in Sierra Leone. 2021 TIMA Convention takes place online with the technical support of the ITV staff. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. In early August, a fire broke out in a community by the Garbage Mountain in Freetown, Sierra Leone. Over 30 homes were destroyed, and Carnitas Foundation have gave affected residents aid supplies.
If you see all the fire victims will become affected, after they don't display everything where they can donate to them, you see smile on their face.
A fire burned through 30 homes, causing those who were already poor to further have difficulties living day to day.
The most difficult thing right now is getting food to eat. Thank you for sending us food so quickly.
The Carnitas Foundation headquarters is close by and sent supplies to help them rebuild their lives. Tzu Chi Scholarship students, those who weren't affected in the fire, all came to volunteer, helping out as much as they can.
We get Tzu Chi Foundation, where now we partner with based in Taiwan. For draw in company woman them, it make bamboo box so that you go to put coin there inside there. Or maybe then use the coin there where the woman in the gather. Then gather them coin in there for solve their own problem.
This humanitarian aid has been looked at as a present fallen from the sky, as it includes not only living supplies, but also mattresses and over 10 different types of ingredients. As school is about to start for students, school supplies were also prepared.
So thank you guys. Thank you foam.
Thank you for the living supplies, food, rice, and cooking oil. There are also backpacks for the kids.
Then supply them picking them books.
When they are no longer struggling, they have the confidence to rebuild their lives once more.
In the United States, the New York chapter continued to distribute cash cards to Hurricane Ida affected residents. 59 affected residents received cash cards, which are worth between $600 to $1,000.
Well, I'm a staff on Tzu Chi, but when I heard about this street is like a couple of my friends, when they just grabbed me to come here to do some food distribution. I'm going to take you guys to the house next. This is where the Chinese immigrants live. The water went up at least here for this house. She tried to run down the street, but the water quickly went up to her nose. And then she has to drag another person trying to go to safety. So right now, she's staying in this house and it's still wet. And then it can smell all the molds and everything. And then they still don't have gas services. So a lot of people that still haven't been taking showers ever since the flooded, and then they cannot cook. So food is a huge issue here. Sometimes they get like donated food. These are frozen food. Those are frozen food. They cannot even heat it up. And the landlord is trying to push them out to go somewhere else. They don't have any place to go. We were trying to get the community knows about this and then to provide bigger and more comprehensive help.
Today we're going to have a distribution again because the victim area is really huge. A lot of people, they still need the help. First day distribution on Wednesday, after we pre-screening, we have a total 26 families get the help. Then today, after our pre-screening, it's coding like more than 100 families. After we screening, then today we have 50 families.
My address is 153-08 Peck Ave. I live in the basement. I have nothing left for my home. My bed is gone. All my clothes were soaked in the water. My 2 bicycles were soaked in water too.
I
I came home to clean my room. The next day, I met a Tzu volunteer. She called the office immediately to request $300 for me. I was touched. I've got nothing left. I only had a loaf of bread and a bottle of water that my neighbor gave me. That's horrible.
邻居给我的，太惨了。
I can show you another picture. That is the stairs to going out. You see the level, the water level is almost to the ceiling, right? They distribute us like $1,000 debit card. So we're gonna use this to buy the mattress, the bed, like rice cooker, for everything that we need.
I got $1,000 today. I'll use it for my kid for my rent to buy a table and chairs.
然后买个桌椅这样。今天呢，他有
They gave me another $300 today. I'll buy some food to eat.
一点吃的。
Yeah, this is the blanket and with the face mask. Yeah, that's so considerate, right? We even have this.
It's really great, helping people everywhere. Great people. Thanks a lot.
In Malaysia, under the pandemic, many refugees are facing financial difficulties. City Kuala Lumpur Selangor chapter has distributed cash vouchers in the community. After checking their identities, they also asked the people to keep social distances. At the cash voucher distribution site, Kuala Lumpur and Selangor city volunteers have implemented pandemic prevention measures.
Ada cukup makan?
Tak cukup.
Tak cukup makan ah.
Ya.
Okey, sekarang sudah berapa lama tak ada kerja?
3 bulan lebih.
The distribution recipients are mainly refugees. Under the pandemic, they face financial difficulties. If they fall ill, the situation will be worse.
4 bulan pun tak boleh bayar lagi.
I have not paid my rent for 4 months. I still lack 3,500 ringgit for surgery fee. The doctor said that if I didn't undergo the surgery, there will be a huge impact in my life.
Tak boleh persen lah.
Eden Theng was a transport worker, but he was injured at work and has walking difficulties now. After receiving a cash voucher, he immediately helps his family buy living supplies. Meanwhile, at Bandar Sugan Lawn, there's another refugee who cannot work due to injuries.
This has been stitched up. It is very painful and I cannot work. It has been 11 days.
City volunteers hope the cash voucher can help refugees solve their urgent problems. They also encourage the refugees to turn from receivers to givers and donate coins to help other less fortunate people. In Paraguay, a family of 7 people live in an old wooden house, as the 5 children have to sleep on planks. 4 city volunteers brought 2 double beds for the family. On the other hand, at a senior home in St. Augustine, volunteers brought supplies.
Near the beautiful river, a wooden house lays near. Yet upon a closer look, the house is only built on several planks, as the home hosts 7 family members. In the house, there's only one single bed, and a bed made from 1 plank and 2 old sponges.
I'm really thankful to City Foundation. They brought my children new beds. My children are happy and they like it. They have never slept on a real bed before.
After the bed is assembled, children can help but roll on their new bed. The smiles of satisfaction and gratitude have made volunteers think that the journey was worth it. A fully loaded truck arrived at a senior home in St. Augustine, as seniors immediately recognized who was here. Good friend, you are here. Hello, hello. Every 3 months, Tzu will bring in supplies including diapers, toilet papers, detergents, and multiple medicines, fulfilling the senior home's needs. Though on this particular occasion, volunteers brought special gifts.
It's great to have this refrigerator. It's very good because our old refrigerator is outside. It cannot be used anymore.
As volunteers present new clothes for seniors, the happy times will continue in the future under the company of volunteers.
Anything starts with a seed and a determination. This Jinse Everson was achieved by a 12th grade student in Canada. At first, it was a school assignment, and then she expanded it to include 2 environmentally friendly greenhouses for the Tzu farm.
The
These environmentally friendly greenhouses in front of us began as drawings and then were constructed by this 18-year-old girl.
I'm very grateful to my dad for these 2 months. He has been with me and stayed with me every day. Sometimes it's very late, like 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. These pieces of wood are all from the Harley-Davidson factory. We took the wood they don't need as the entire greenhouse is made of wood.
In this farm, everyone can plant. It's not just these seedlings that I saw in the nursery room. I see a lot of seeds in the cornfield. I think planting is your love. Everyone's hard work and sweat here help irrigate the fields.
The summer just ended and this girl's face is tan. Kind seeds that sprouted from her heart will turn into many young shoots, and they will be full of future vitality for the Tzu farm.
The 2021 annual TIMA Convention took place online. This year's theme is Facing the Pandemic with Love and Care. 19 DaAi TV technicians made sure the broadcasting signals were stable.
The 2021 annual TIMA Convention kicks off for the first time at the Jingse abode. It is also broadcasted live for those who can't make it to Kuala in Taiwan. This is the compassionate strength the world needs right now.
Due to the pandemic, it is not very easy for the hospital to obtain these medical supplies. So we need to further protect the needs of the hospital by giving them our love and care, so they may continue to protect society.
During the first lecture, Chen Shizhong, Taiwan's Minister of Health and Welfare, spoke about the pandemic measures Taiwan carried out for the past year or so and hopes to gain more effective prevention measures from TIMA members.
Many times, decisions must be made, and I am open to suggestions from everyone, and hope people provide me with suggestions. I listen to each and every one of them. I further hope as a country we are united with our goal to follow prevention methods to ensure our success in battle.
In order to present this year's convention online, the DaAi technical team spent 2 days prior building a temporary studio control center at the Jingse abode.
It's a temporary control center, but we still need to have a stable signal. Our video connections are done via Zoom, so that needs to be tested ahead of time. We need to have a careful eye on the internet connection at all times and to have a backup ready to go in case of failure. It's the staff that is hardest on because they need to stay put and can leave their post.
Over 19 countries, 2,000 people gather online to kick off the 2021 TIMA Convention as they learn and grow together.
Tzu hospitals have been dedicated to pandemic prevention work. During this year's TIMA Convention, superintendents from Taipei, Taichung, and Dalian Tzu hospitals have shared the pandemic prevention work.
The nurse is like his granddaughter, encouraging and supporting him.
Superintendent Zhao Youchen shares moving stories. Taipei Tzu Hospital has treated 904 COVID-19 patients, not giving up on any chance to save lives.
As we save one more patient, we seem to be at talk of war with the God of Days. What matters is not how many patients we treated, but how much love we provided as we cared for these patients. This is what we are learning in this battle.
Meanwhile, Dalian Tzu Hospital has developed an information system preventing the pandemic with 5 checkpoints.
Before the patient arrives, We've already uploaded the related information onto the doctor's computer. The second stage is the patient's arrival at the main hall. Third is the hospitalization. The fourth stage is the facial identification. And the fifth stage is the filter of people they come in contact with. The pandemic is very serious. It is similar to the condition of SARS pandemic in 2003.
Superintendent Jian Shouxing combines styling events with art. He talks about the 2003 SARS pandemic and 1918 Spanish flu to explain the impact of contagious diseases on the world.
So after he got the flu, he drew a self-portrait. He seemed so weak. We seem to be able to feel the big impact.
City hospitals throughout Taiwan are doing their best to care for COVID-19 patients battling against the pandemic. Kaohsiung recycling volunteer Wong Chen Chunlan is 90 years old. For 20 years, every day she takes the bus to Fengshan Recycling Station to do recycling. Even after she underwent a heart surgery, she still insisted on doing recycling.
Senior volunteer Wong Chen Chunlan, who is illiterate, is happy to join study group, cultivating her wisdom and blessing. Cutting the plastic bag to save the clean part, the 90-year-old volunteer has been doing recycling almost every day for 20 years.
I fainted once. I'm not sure if I felt dizzy, but I fell on the ground. When I'm well, I'll come to do recycling, or else I'll take a break.
Wong Chen Chunlan's heart sometimes almost stopped, does not ask for anything in return. She simply does the work.
Wong Chen Chunlan is very calm. When she underwent the heart surgery, she often brings her own lunch, which is very simple.
I eat lunch at home. I eat leftovers, so I won't waste food.
She brings leftovers from dinner and eats simple food. I feel for her, so I will bring some food for her. If I do not cut the food into smaller pieces, she will tell me she won't eat the food.
The other volunteers will secretly bring some food for Wong Chen Chunlan, so the senior can eat nutritious vegetarian food. As the afternoon bus is approaching, everyone is more nervous than the senior.
She often says that there is still 5 or 10 minutes until the bus comes. These Tzu Chi volunteers will laugh and say that, while some volunteers do not want to stay, she wants to stay. She often says there is still time left.
I'm happier here. I feel bored being alone at home. It's good to do recycling and save the earth. I can also exercise, which is good.
The senior dedicates her time and efforts to protect the environment, and she is spiritually wealthy.
In the past, athletes rely on talent and practice to achieve better scores. Now with sports technology, athletes may utilize highly efficient training methods. In NTHU Sports Technology Center, staff members have developed a boxing data collection system.
I want to get stronger and have faster reflexes.
I want boxing to go from an unpopular sport to a popular sport.
We're now at a center in Hsinchu, where local boxing athletes begin training since youth. We can see middle school, high school, and college students here. Our national boxing athlete Chen Nianqing trained here during her middle school years. And now, besides practicing hard, boxing athletes are assisted by technology, raising their overall training efficiency. At the first round, Chinese Taipei boxing athlete Chen Nianqing defeated Italian boxing athlete Angela Carini with great advantage, advancing to the Olympics quarterfinals.
Angela Carini's every punch has a message. Whether this punch is a jab, straight punch, or uppercut, her footwork can be classified to mid, short, and long distances. Therefore, each action has a lot of information within it. We must record these information with detail.
NTHU's Department of Kinesiology developed a boxing data collection system, collecting data from Olympic opponents. This also includes their match data for international competitions. Before the Olympics, this data will be provided to athletes and coaches. This time, Chen Nianqing looked at Angela Carini's data, understanding her techniques and moves. Chen Nianqing's sparring partner will then initiate practice sessions.
Angelia Carini is tall, but she often keeps low, which stabilizes her lower waist. She also waits for punches from her opponent before striking back. With this data collection system, we can understand her habits and boxing techniques. More importantly, we can see our advantages and disadvantages.
就是能够从里面看到自己的优劣势。
Looking at the science from the system, each punch and detail is recorded with extreme detail. The system recordings include distance between attacking, punching techniques, scoring methods, and habitual moves. Each of these mentioned have more of a detail to it. For example, punching techniques can be split into biting methods, switching from left to right hand, switching footwork, single hand disruption, and direct attacks. The key to winning is to know yourself and the opponent.
In the past, when we look at recordings, we can look at it in slow motion, like the first round's first minute. We can look at the opponent's attacking strategies. We can pause at any moment.
In the early era, coaches directly look at videos, and if they have ideas, they'll note it down with some explanation. That's pretty much it. Some coaches will write down a lot of data during a match, using up a lot of paper, but it's too much. No one will read it. If we use a system that stores data, it's better because it can provide statistics.
可是如果你透过系统，它就完全存在里面，而且它可以跑统计出来。
比如说我今天点了一次拳。
For example, if I click on the jab, the software will help me mark one jab. Through this method, the software will mark every single punch during the match.
它就会自动帮我整合，说它这边就是5拳。
There's a lot to boxing. One has to understand jabs, uppercuts, single-hand disruption, and switching between left and right hands before becoming a marking specialist. The half-automatic data collection system relies on a marking specialist who must be a boxing athlete. The system was developed under the collaboration between the Department of Kinesiology and Department of Computer Science.
Before, when we talk to students from the Department of Computer Science, they don't even know boxing, so it's hard for them to understand left and right punches, the differences between the two. They also didn't know what an uppercut is, so it took a long time of communicating.
The system also splits the ring into 9 squares, providing precise data as to locate common punching spots from opponents.
每一个选手他会习惯把选手。
Every athlete in the ring has a habit of pushing their opponent to a certain location, or using their spot of advantage to throw out their signature punches. For example, some athletes utilize the sides of a ring, using the bounce from the ropes, so when they are near the rope, they will show a certain technique.
所以他会到绳边的时候，他会有什么样的技术？
Upon the Olympics this time, the sport technology team, after knowing the athlete's upcoming opponent, will immediately collect the opponent's most recent data, as this boosts our athletes' confidence for the next match. This time, Chen Lianqing made it to the quarterfinals, making workers at NTHU Sports Technology Center excited. This is because workers have collected data from the opponent beforehand, allowing athletes to practice with efficiency and perform better in the ring. As Dallas implements order for people to wear masks, City Dallas chapter has donated masks to 8 schools. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.